Sorry. I didn't even know the thing was going. I'm like, is it working? Baby, are you typing? Ow. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, this is the truth behind the Flavor Flav Chuck D lawsuit. Now, a lot of people are up in arms or confused because they were unaware that Flavor Flav had sued Chuck D. I mean, they didn't understand it or didn't see it to Vlad interview with Flav. But if you follow hip hop and you're in the know, then you know. So definitely wasn't a surprise here. We knew what the drop was. Now, what Flavor Flav wanted to do was bring some shine to his name. Some, hey man, I was not just the clown of Public Enemy. I was worth something. And he's like, look, I'm owed some money somewhere. Naturally, he had some manager say, you're supposed to be getting this and you should be getting that. And he wasn't getting these things. Now, I don't understand, you know, what the contract was when they signed it, because all you guys don't understand that the situations are different when it comes to contracts. It all depends on what you signed up for. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in YouTube over there, YouTube Premiere, we're going to premiere the video, so that you guys are the first ones to see it, my subscribers, the guys who believe. So don't forget to hit that notification button. Don't forget to subscribe because you guys get it first before anybody get it off the presses. You guys are the special ones. So you guys will have the information first and foremost. People like, man, why you beat around the bush? I don't beat around the bush. I try to give you context so you can have a full understanding of why this situation is, instead of me just giving you a 2-minute video of just saying what the reason is and you have no context behind it. Case in point, what Chuck D and Flavor Flav was suing Chuck D for was writing credits. He felt he wasn't credited. In the interview, you heard him say he didn't get the credit for a song he worked on called Harder Than You Think. He said, my voice is the meat on that record, and I don't have not one writing royalty on that record. Anytime I go after somebody for something, it's for something valid. So he's suing Chuck D over royalties. And he said in the interview that, he loved Chuck. Chuck's doing his thing, and, it's how money messes up things and make you something else. And in making Chuck, the interview kind of makes Chuck look like the bad guy in the situation. So when you hear Flavor Flav do the interview, you start thinking Chuck is the bad guy. Now, you have to understand, both Chuck D and the rest of the group have to sign to a publishing company, right? Because these guys are considered songwriters. So if they didn't get a songwriting credit, it might have went down, or the way it went on the listing, that would have to go with the publishing company or the agreement you signed as a publisher, or when you did your contract. You might have voided it in the contract and don't even know it. Case in point, if you're signed to an exclusive publishing deal, there are different things that you could do. Like, you get a lot of music questions, but there's a writer and a publisher deal. Okay, when you write something, there are 2 shares of royalties for each writer on a song. So because there's, let's say, Chuck D and Flavor Flav, that means there's 2 writing credits and 2 publishing credits. Every writer has a publishing credit on the other side. They're 50 and 50. Okay, you have 50% writing credit and the other 50% is a publishing credit. Okay, that's how it works. So if there's 2 writers, then you have 2 writing credits and 2 publishing credits. And the shares are divided depending on the contract that the writers have, they entered into that contract. So if you sign an exclusive publishing agreement with one of the publishers, any deal with them is going to be a 50-50 co-publishing, which means part of your co-publishing that you own 50% with, you now own 25. And that other person owns 25. So you'll get 25% of that, and the other 25 that you had will go to the publisher. So it's a half publishing deal, publishing share. So any new writers getting publishing deals, that's called a like a straight publishing deals. Now, if you got a straight publishing deal, that means that all of your publishing, all 100% is going to the publisher. And you get your writing credit. Okay? You get credited for your writing credit for this situation. Now, if Flavor Flav at that time when he made his song or whatever, or for a demo, whatever, if he didn't have any sort of publishing arrangement or things of that nature, the only exemption, the publisher share is like what they call a default. So they have to go to court to get all that situated. So when you get your writer share, that comes like from like ASCAP, BMI, SoulScan, and all those different places. And if you haven't recouped with your publisher, you gotta go through the legal, guidelines to try to get all of these things done. And that's where they were. So you have to go to who was the actual company you signed with. Now, Chuck D's manager came out and kind of cleared, and it made more sense to me where they actually were than the Flavor Flav's interview. Now, Chuck D's manager is Lori Bola. And Lori came out and gave an explanation as to why. She said, "We have chosen not to respond to Flavor Flav's multiple statements about litigation claims against Chuck D, but feel it was necessary to set the record straight this time. The facts are that Flavor Flav did attempt to sue Chuck D, but the court threw out his lawsuit in January of 2019. We also want to make clear that Reach Global Music Publishing was the administrator for the songwriters, and Gary Ronaldo was the administrator for the song and the record label that Flavor Flav discusses in recent interviews." And she said Flavor has personally sued both and has reached settlements with these parties, the terms of which we are not privy to. As a matter of record, Chuck has also sued Reach Global Music and Gary Ronaldo. That litigation is still ongoing and we cannot comment on it at this time. And that's where it ends from her. So the Chuck D lawsuit is thrown out. And the reason why it was thrown out, because there's no way you could sue Chuck D if you're Flavor Flav. How could you sue Chuck? Chuck is not the guy you can sue. So you would have to sue Reach Global Music Publishing and the administrator of the songwriter. And whoever was the administrator, which in this case, it was Gary Ronaldo. So you could sue them and the actual publishing company. So he reached a settlement and he accepted it. So everything is done on his end, if this is the case for him. Chuck is also suing because for whatever reasons he's suing for. They probably did some things with some publishing money or writing credits, and the artists want their money. But now you have more context than you did before when you entered into this video. I didn't just give you what the world already know. Now you know things you didn't know about publishing and writing credits. So we're not just trying to make a super long video. That just doesn't make sense. I just try to make sure that you have as much information as possible. So when you leave this video, you'd be like, man, I felt very informed. That's all. But it's always the people that don't even be here anyway. They just show up out of the blue just to come with some hate. But anyway, I hope this video was informative to you. Don't forget, you can click the link in the description box and donate to us. That's our super chat. We appreciate it. Or you can hit me up on the Cash App. My name's Carcino on the Cash App, Karceno. And subscribe and hit the notification bell if you are one of the newbies. Welcome to the party.